Good day, students. Welcome to Mathgotserved.com. In this clip, we're going to be going over how to use the angle-angle similarity postulate. The question reads, in triangle ABC below, D is a point on AB and E is a point on AC, such that DE is parallel to BC. Question, which statement is always true? Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and mark this shape using the information that we are provided with in the question. So the construction is done in such a way that DE, this horizontal segment right here, is parallel to BC, this horizontal segment right here. Okay, notice we have two triangles. This is one triangle, a smaller one, and then you have a bigger triangle. All right, so if we have this situation right here, let's for a second imagine that these are two parallel lines and these are transversals. Okay, so consider AC for a second. Let AC be a transversal and these two be parallel lines. Okay, so it says we're going to extend it like this. Imagine this is the transversal and these are two parallel lines. Now, what conclusion can we draw? These two angles right here are corresponding angles. If you have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, corresponding angles are what? Corresponding angles are congruent. So these two angles are congruent. Alright, so we already see a relationship between the two triangles, which is that angle on the lower right are congruent. Okay, now let's shift our attention to this side AB. Imagine that this is another transversal and then these are two parallel lines, right? So you have two parallel lines cut by a transversal. Now what conclusion can we draw in that case? Well, guess what? This angle right here and this angle right here are also congruent. How do we know that? Because they are corresponding angles also. Okay? Bam. Alright, so we have a situation where we have two triangles with two pair of congruent angles. If you have two triangles with two pair of congruent angles, what do we know for certainty? What conclusion can we draw? To help us with that, we're going to go to our website, Mathgotserved.com. Let's just click on geometry. Okay. And we just scroll down to our theorems and postulates section. All right, so take a look at the theorem and postulates for triangles number 6, the angle-angle similarity postulate. Notice what it says. It says if two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of another triangle, then the triangles are similar. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using here. We have two pair of congruent triangles for two triangles, namely ADE and triangle ABC. Alright, so let's go ahead and write down what we just observed from our website. So recall the AA angle-angle similarity postulate. Alright, which is that if two corresponding, it doesn't have to be corresponding, just two angles. Okay, so if two angles of two triangles are congruent, you don't need to check the third one because it's automatically going to be congruent, right? If two angles of two triangles are congruent, then the triangles are similar. That's the key. Okay, so in this particular case, what we have here is that if segment DE is parallel to segment BC, then we have two pair of congruent angles, right? Then, as we have marked, angle D is congruent to angle B, right? And angle E is congruent to angle C. All right, the reason that we can arrive at these conclusions is because corresponding corresponding angles of parallel lines cut by a transversal are congruent. Okay. All right. So we've been able to establish that we have two pair of congruent angles. Now, using the similarity postulate, right? If angle D is congruent to angle B and angle E is congruent to angle C, basically a pair of congruent angles from two triangles, then triangle ADE is similar to triangle ABC by the angle similarity postulate. All right. So with that in mind, we automatically know that the answer to this question is option number 2, which states that these two triangles are similar. That is always the case. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. Don't forget to help support our channel. Tons of support resources can be found at Mathgotserved.com. Do check it out. If you have any questions about this tutorial or any geometry concepts in general, specify it in the comment section below, and we'll be more than glad to support you. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.